And with that, we'll get into picks and bans.
And as that funky music plays us into picks and bans, gonna have to keep our eyes on a lot of things in this draft. Of course, bot lane is exciting, some of these bans exciting, but need to see what any new special picks gonna come out.
Look, I've got to say, Dracos, I feel like the meta has shifted from winter to spring.
Okay.
Namely, in winter, we saw a ton of blue champions locked in, like literally the color blue champions. Now it's all about the red champions, Varus, Annie banned away. And I was talking with Treats, actually, backstage yesterday, and he said that, again, another red champion banned away. Right now, we are in a red meta, and the red meta is all about, all these champions are so aggressive compared to their blue, more passive counterparts.
So, when we said you had the color cast today,
Look, Zaya's red, Ari's red. I'm just going to be honest here. It's all red.
Ari's
picks.
red and blue, Ender.
That's true. She's kind of a jack of all
holes
trades.
in your theory.
Okay,
Zeri is green.
Yeah, Zeri is green, but that's and another green champion. I understand, but she's an exception to the rule. She's just broken.
I'm gonna give you a chance in game to break this down again for me, depending on how these compositions play out, because I'm lost in the color theory.
That's fair. That's fair play. I will just say that when we get to the end of this draft, there's going to be like 6 or 7 red champions. Vi, another perfect example.
You did say blue and red, and now it's been broken down to blue and red.
This is not planned, by the way. This just happened.
A bit of a graphical error. We'll get that up on your screen momentarily again as we sort through that one. Catching up into speed in the draft. Got the Zeri on one side. Now being matched by the Vi. Will G2 go for the Soraka again? Obviously a very strong combo, but blind picking it does seem a bit risky.
This is true, and you heard the Des talking a lot about like top lane counter pick, especially for Broken Blade here, seeing what he can get done. So with all these 80 carry bans going through in the early rotations, no surprise here that we just see the Vi Sejuani trade that we've seen time and time again. Very heavy priority. Again, a lot of these engaged supports, I think that's been a big switch up as well for specifically Team BDS, playing towards the end of last split. They've been playing a lot more engaged supports, but now with the Lulu again, with the Zeri going back to the Trident.
Strong pairing, strong with the Vi. And now that you've said it, Ender, I cannot unsee it. That is 2 red champions.
I would dare say 3.
You're gonna call for the 3?
Yeah, I think Lulu's got a red hat.
Oh, I said on the red side. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
This would be spicy if they do want to go for it, but I think debating what is the option going to be. Could try to outrange the Zeri with the Twitch. Twitch not a champion we've seen a lot of in a very long time.
Wow.
And it is going to get locked in. They want to it seems outscale. Now, G2 are just crazy enough of a team that, never mind, there's a Vi locked in. I was about to be like, Twitch jungle. You played against, I was about to tell you about level 2 red buff.
Yeah, but have you played against Twitch mid?
No. Bless.
Just throwing it out there.
Got to be ready in a G2 game. Have to
it's
see
very
where
true.
It's going to go. But for now, Twitch Recon bottom side, obviously Twitch level 6. Twitch roaming early on in the game. If you can get pushed is a very big deal. Interesting to see the Yone banned away. Let's have a pretty good matchup into the Twitch. I'm kidding. I'm just
We're going deep into the sauce now. I must say, I do like the Twitch sort of theoretically with champions like Vi and Rakan, super long range engage. I think sometimes those champions can almost fall victim to going too deep into the enemy
Jarvan
backline.
Problem where you EQR and then literally no one can follow you.
Your Jarvan, your Hecarim issue. But I think because of Twitch's range and because he also wants to play in a way where he's sort of jumping out, surprising the enemy, he's going to be pairing up a lot in the mid game with the Rakan and the Vi trying to set up plays. So I think that works really, really nicely and makes it so you don't end up getting as punished, I think, if someone like Crowny flashes back towards the rest of his team. You know the follow-through is going to be there from the Twitch.
Yeah, and we saw in the previous game for Vitality, Gwen ult obviously can serve a lot of the same purpose utility-wise, where you're hitting frontline and backline simultaneously. I think that's one of the great strengths of the Twitch ult, is if you do try to fight front-to-back against the Twitch, he's hitting your entire team, so it's a bit of a nightmare. And also curious to see if this is going to mean Hansama getting out of lane, roaming more if it is his Twitch that'll get locked in. For now, the 3 mid lane bans, Yone, the Veigar, and the Talia. Jack's going to follow as well, just taking away some of the safer blind pick options for Broken Blade. You heard the Des talk about Broken Blade. Not the strongest individual performance this season, but despite a rough start yesterday, he did every time they hover something, I have to let it, you know, percolate in my brain. Is it going to get locked
If you want the deep sauce, Caps has also been playing some Recon mid in solo queue, but it will just be the Azir for him. Makes a lot of sense here, but I will say that because the Kled got banned away in first phase from BDS, I think that's pretty smart, because it seems like G2's move a lot this split ever since finals has just been the blind Kled Cassio. It's very hard to like find picks that can punish that in lane. So removing that very early on, and now the Azir as well coming through sort of denies some of those options.
Yeah, I think especially when you saw how well they recovered with it, and of course it's a very unique champion to play against. The movement speed from the ult can be difficult to calculate, difficult to prepare for, even if yesterday we saw a really solid early game against it from Vitality. Renekton now locked in. Very traditional combo on the top side of the map. A lot of kill pressure here, but of course it's a blind pick. BB has the luxury of counter, even if some of the options have been limited or taken away.
Thing is, right now, BDS have like one great tool in terms of like peeling away from the opposition in the Lulu. So the right call may just be to go more counter dive and try to pile onto the Azir and the Twitch. Because of the Azir ult, though, I think that's a really good answer into a lot of the dive that's going to be thrown there. But Nuke on the Akali, I think, was so successful throughout the winter split. Not necessarily like dominating in lane or anything like this, but he found a lot of good moves to side lanes where he would cash it in kills around the 10-20 minute mark and then run over the game after just getting a very small lead. So that's a pick that can be deadly in his hands.
And now the Gragas's going to get locked in. Just trying to have some safety on the top side, some disengage, and this is kind of the counter dive to go into BDS that you talked about. You've got this Renekton, you've got this Akali, you've got this Sejuani, all of whom want to leap forward. The Gragas and the Azir are going to try to keep them away so you can get the better setup in these fights. Interesting compositions overall. Team BDS, we kind of saw a very similar composition from SK earlier today in terms of proactivity. A lot of champions that, you know, if they find flanks, if they get snowballing early, can really take over a game. Whereas on the opposite side, safer scaling for G2. A lot of good engage tools too, don't get me wrong. And Twitch can obviously throw a thorn in the side in the early to mid game. But when you look at Azir, Twitch, his late game carries, definitely hard to match.
Also, just G2's comp is so well rounded. Like, I don't know. I think it's actually going to be really hard for BDS, especially Nuke, to be able to find the enemy backline versus the Azir and versus the Gragas there as well. I also think the engage from G2 is a little bit stronger, so it's going to be pretty challenging, I think, for BDS to navigate this game unless Nuke and Adam are able to maybe get a lead, convert off of some side lane pressure to find crunches off of those side waves, make some plays themselves, because if they're sort of being dictated to, if G2 are the ones calling the shots around the map, you're going to run into a ton of problems as BDS.
Can get very tricky very quickly. Of course, first Twitch AD carry of the year. We had Twitch support early on when it was well, the bad meta in winter, where everything that did damage at level 1 was a support.
You're an AD carry? Go bot lane.
Yeah, go bot lane.
It's support.
Build the item. Now it's time to find out who will come out on top as we get ready for BDS versus G2 Esports. Oh, whoops.
What's that, Dracos?
So you know when the player pictures are on the screen in the break?
Right.
I tried to trace BB's face.
I feel like you could sell that. That's like modern art or something. Someone wants that.
Yeah, it's definitely not traditional art or good art, but modern art, you know, it's a pretty loose category.
It's a gray area.
Could be modern art.
It's kind of like my fashion choices. Anything can be worn.
True. Kind of like NFTs. You just screenshot this right now, sell it to someone.
Take notes, guys. Take notes. I do like Broken Blade starting with a body slam here and hopping over the wall, maybe seeing if they can pick Shio or someone stepping into the pixel brush, but BDS not going to let that one happen. They spotted out.
Find the angle.
Throw some emotes.
Yeah, just kind of the emote off here in the jungle. It used to be the dance off in mid lane before the game would start. Now
then if it was Blitzcrank, it was the laugh off, right?
Yeah, true. And then the Blitzcranks who were bad people on a moral level would throw the hook out mid dance off.
It's over.
Ward gone, extra XP. Yeah, shout out to the BDS fans.
I respect it.
That's good. I like hearing that because BDS are on a tear. Your reminder, we've heard it from the desk and we'll talk about it again, but when we look at the standings before this lane phase kicks off, BDS in the lead alongside Team Vitality right now. G2 still a massive threat. A lot of teams really stepping up over the last few weeks, but BDS looking like the real deal this season, even though they fell out a bit earlier than anticipated in winter. Now Adam, gonna look to cement his dominance on the top side up against Broken Blade.
Yeah, Broken Blade tried to use the body slam there, but it just hit a minion, didn't actually connect on Adam. So long cooldown where Adam can just sort of walk forward, hit the wave, hit Broken Blade pretty freely at level 1. Without any other spells to threaten, Broken Blade can't do too much, but he back on cooldown. And I mean, the great news about having the Gragas specifically to answer Renekton usually can just sustain through lane for so long because of the stain from passive, because of the lack of mana, all these things. But Gragas can somewhat match that with his own passive, as long as he's got the mana to keep up.
Yeah, Gragas passive very powerful. I think 8-second static cooldown, so it can't be adjusted, but a lot of healing, just percentage health. Just gonna probably stack up here. We'll see what build he wants to go for. I presume it will be the Roa, maybe something more aggressive like the Night Harvester. Just have to track it. Meanwhile, the mid lane, as expected, is here getting some early pressure. Bot side, that ward may have led to an earlier level 2 for the side of BDS, but we didn't quite catch the action there in the moment.
I thought actually Ike was maybe going to go for a full clear towards his top side. Actually, he was just placing a ward there. Maybe it was an opportunity to look for a gank, but will end up just going for that full clear himself. There are options to play on bot lane if you want, but with the ghost down there, as well as the heal, very hard to lock down Crowny. Even if they do have a push in that lane, he can simply flash away from the Mickey stun, anything like this. So I actually like the idea of maybe trying to get up to the top lane earlier on, maybe remove flash, something like this. And that will really limit dive options later on if you transition to playing a much more bot-focused game after first recall.
Yeah, but Shio making his presence on the bottom side, hitting, of course, the Scryer's Bloom will give away relative position. Let Yike know that he's uncontested on the top side. He can at least go for top crab, but Adam laying down a bit of vision, well-timed, just to make sure that he's safe from any potential plays.
That almost has to be a comm from Shio right there, because as you say, Shio gives away his position, hitting the Scryer's Bloom, so Adam has to play safer off of that. I do like Yike's pathing here, dodging away from the vision, clearing this out, and he'll be in position to counter gank mid.
Shuriken Flip does connect.
He wants the minions.
Yeah, he wants the minions.
He's like, get out of here, Shio, you're taking my EXP! Wait, what, you just hit level 4, this is my lane!
You know what, I respect anyone who wants to come into a lane and take XP, but I'm also not a mid lane player, so I don't know how frustrating it is. You kind of get to walk away from the problems you cause as a jungler.
Oh, yeah.
You walk in, you steal, you leave. And if you only play jungle, you have no idea what the impact of your actions is. And that's the kind of level of responsibility I like to live my life with. Shio now stepping forward. Broken Blade is right here. Adam now coming into the backside, though. If he gets into the midst of this fight, he's not going to get a chance. Broken Blade flashing out early. Yike,
oh my god!
They're getting one, and now they want to turn! Wow, full confidence from Yike there. Knew his damage output, and I gotta say, Yike has been on a tear this weekend. Yesterday and today, he has been a monster.
And it's been mental, too, seeing Yike transition playstyles almost entirely from winter to summer now as Adam's engaging onto Yike here. What is he doing?
Broken Blade has no mana enough to use the W. Nuke now getting aggressive onto Caps. Caps taking a lot of damage here. Passive resets for Nuke, and Caps back up for now. But aggressive trading, both on top side, mid lane, bot lane, surprisingly the least exciting, although now we pan down there. Maybe we're going to see some action.
I think surely Adam had to think Broken Blade didn't have enough mana to cast the E there. Otherwise, I can't imagine why he would have tried to go for the all-in on that. But back to the Yike point, I think it's been really nice to see him playing a lot of these more aggressive early-game junglers, the Jarvan, the Vi, these types of picks, as opposed to just the heavy farm stuff he was playing all throughout winter. I think this is something really important for G2 to show, that they can play these multiple styles with Yike. He was the sort of standout, breakout player during the winter split, but especially as we head towards things like MSI, which G2, of course, already qualified for, showing that you have that wealth of different playstyles is going to instill a lot of confidence in people, even if they lose to BO1s, you know?
And that's fair. You know, like the loss in BO1s is always going to raise questions that'll be easily answered in best of 3s and best of 5s, ultimately is what it comes down to. G2, of course, still going to fight for good placement here.
Look at this. Here we go.
Getting aggressive, the pushback now there. Nice dash out. Mickey waiting, holding off. They only get the Shuriken Flip, so not going to amount to too much, getting Caps' ult as well. So overall, BDS not too sad about that one. A lot of time burned for the side of G2, and now Mickey's going to be the one in trouble. 1, 2, 3 on the stacks. Labrov in the area. I don't think there's really a play here. Once Caps recalls, though, he might not have a path out, but just not confident enough to get too aggressive there. Excuse me, the Kali ult was also used in the trade, though, important to highlight.
Yeah, it was kind of unfortunate for Mickey getting chunked out so heavily there, coming off of the recall. Reason why the play got called off to begin with is Mickey said, yo, we only have about 10 seconds that I was able to secure getting that early reset off compared to Labrov, so they didn't want to overextend for that. Now BDS actually moving towards the Drake. Notice Adam already left top lane and is on the roam down.
Only level 5 for Hansama as well. No ultimate does make this a little bit more difficult, but Caps doesn't have the ulti either. Mickey only level 4, relatively squishy. Gonna go in, are they gonna be able to contest this one? Yike debating if he wants to go for it, but they're just gonna back away. Bit of a spectator Drake here, Nuke debating. The body says yes, the mind definitely telling him no there. Does not want to follow up on the Shuriken Flip.
Like, maybe I don't engage as the Akali without the ult up. Maybe that's the right idea. Okay, we'll chill, it's fine. We get the Drake, get the Scuttle Crab, get the push in all of our lanes as well. Really nice position to be in as G2 are sort of forced to waste 15, 20 seconds dancing around Drake, then take recalls on both mid lane and bot lane.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the kind of discipline you expect from someone who's going to play a green champion on the stage.
So true.
The things you have to think about, you know, be a very red move to get too aggressive.
It is 3 red versus 2 red.
It's the thing that people don't think about when they talk about professional analysis is the colors in the vanilla portraits, not specifically.
They matter, okay? Look, it's a real thing. It's a real thing, I'm telling you. We're going to see a lot of diving in from the 3 red champions on G2.
All right, something to track. There's a green Renekton, which
that's not
things.
diving in, Broken Blade.
He's going to knock him back, though. Gets the ulti out. Adam gets to hold onto his ult, too. This is rough. Yike going to come top lane once again.
Oh, the squad is on the way, too. Cap's moving up, Mickey off of the reset, instantly running up towards topside. Herald is spawning down, too, so they do have some options if they just want to abandon Mickey bot or Han's bot side, but with the wave coming in as well. Yike's ult, I think they slightly missed the opportunity.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, again, the devs talked about it, and we saw it yesterday. Broken Blade has been struggling a little bit in these laning phases. And I think the thing that sucks, if you're a team playing against G2 is, yeah, look at that. Ooh, 14 minutes. You're beating Broken Blade. But then you have to kind of keep beating him, and that's where people, I think, struggle. Because, yes, you can win top lane against Broken Blade, but you can't win top lane against G2 because they're rolling 3 guys deep every 5 minutes to make sure that Broken Blade gets to play the game. And that's, you know, that's the level of team playing coordination that we have to praise them for, and it's something the BDS are going to need to be ready for. But Mickey getting caught out here, not really an avenue of escape. The flash out to safety, perfect execution now coming out. Cap's on the way, but it's not going to matter. A little bit of Fnatic flair for some reason, but you got to respect it as Hansama just gets aggressive, trying to zone Crownie and Labrov away just to make sure that he does not get dove. But Shio is on the way, might commit for the dive anyway.
That was really nice, though, for Mook. This is what I was talking about, right? Not getting kills in lane or anything like this, but the way he moves around the map, finds picks in the enemy jungle, finds kills on side lanes, has always been really impressive when he's on this Akali. So super nice to see him pairing up with Shio. There is a window for Adam to potentially get ganked up here. Broken Blade's ult not too far off, so if they wanted to try that in about 10 seconds, it would be a great time.
Broken Blade still walking forward. Adam knows something's up. He can spot Yike on the ward. Popping Dominus, letting the Fury stack. Can try to dash through, but has to be careful. Has to wait for the CC to come out. A little bit of healing coming in from the Cole the Meek, but not in an enemy wave, in his own wave, so not going to get a whole lot done there. Good damage onto Yike, but now Broken Blade just tags in. Ooh! And that's the thing. Adam's going for the 1v1, but this is WWE Tag Team on the top side, and Shio is nowhere to be found.
That's so brutal. Adam dodges, sidesteps from the body slam, gets flashed on immediately. Adam's flash also 10 seconds away from returning, so the gank was perfectly timed there from G2, finding that window to get the kill, even though Broken Blade's down 20 CS, able to find that one, and I think that may be enough for him to go ahead and upgrade into first item. Which would be really good news for him if that ends up being the case. We could take another look at it, because again, I think at the start, right, they're trying to wait out the dominance for as long as possible. Broken Blade also backs up here so that Adam can't hit him with that Q, get that bit of extra healing. And then from there, it's all really nice until, oopsie daisies, we're back in and we get the kill.
And again, second time in a row we've seen these trades where Broken Blade's flashing out and Adam just wants to hit one person, and he never gets the opportunity to do it. It's absolutely brutal. Again, G2 playing at the edge there on the top side of the map, but doing what they can to keep Broken Blade even in this lane. Adam finishing Stridebreaker first, though, could be a problem as Mickey getting aggressive onto Crownie. Crownie immediately popping the goats. Mickey turning over to level 6. Well timed by G2, but they don't have a follow-up. And now Nuke on the bottom side. Ulti available. Flash still up on the back of that previous play. Mickey no flash, no ignite. Yike now coming in. Nuke locked up. Good base damage coming from the buy. Forced to shuriken flip out to safety, so the play will fade away. No more opportunity here for BDS.
Huge respect to Labrov. The timing on the polymorph on Hansama when the engage went in for Mickey X absolutely saved Crownie's life. Even with so many players running down towards the bot side, one well-timed polymorph was enough to get the job done. Nope. Again, we see similar ideas, though, with Nuke making his way down towards the bot side, looking for an opportunity. But the timing of Yike there, absolutely perfect. Also, Yike coming back with a Black Cleaver. Huge spike here for the Vi. And even though the first blood, or the kill in the matchup, went to Broken Blade on the top side of the map, he is out-itemized. The Stridebreaker has been finished, so this lane is not going to be fun, at least till he can get back to base again.
Definitely not, but if he gets knocked back under tower, it might be.
Oh my
God. Good play, follow up the flash out. Broken Blade really making the most out of this laning phase. Yes, he struggled early on, but Yike, all that investment on the top side is paying off, and Adam has to be kicking himself on the back of that one. Losing your flash is brutal.
Lucky that Broken Blade didn't have the flash of his own. Losing that in the trade with the sidestep may have just saved his life. Don't know if BB had the cooldown to actually make it happen, but there's a pick on Mickey.
And caught out. Crownie is here. Mickey gonna try to make it over the wall. Crownie is gonna follow. No, we'll just walk away. BDS clearly just trying to find these individual members of G2, take them out as the Herald will be used mid lane. Cap's getting a little bit of extra money. Nuke doesn't want to follow up on that one. And honestly, it's a tense game. Gold is dead even. It's only 1 kill to 2, but we've had so many close skirmishes, so many close exchanges.
BDS really challenging G2, and I've got to shout out Shio once again. I think he's been a very silent hero for BDS time and time again. Is Nuke?
Caps, I think just wanted that plate, but flash out. Nuke with the follow-up is just going to walk away.
Yeah, Yike was on the way, so Nuke has to back on out of that one. LeBron also there, but hey, Nuke takes a great timed all-in mid lane. Caps is forced back, and look at that. Another Drake secured for BDS. Shio playing around the spots has been huge. As he back steps away from Mickey, did have vision as that ward was being hit, so knew that the Q was coming in.
Adam going to grab plate mid as well. So a lot of money going over to BDS. Broken Blade going to try to respond in kind, but you highlighted already, the 2 Drakes is going to be pretty massive as you get later and later in the game, especially because it's Ocean. A lot of the poke, a lot of the upfront damage that can come through from the side of G2 is going to be heavily mitigated, especially with some of the healing they already have present in their composition from the Zeri, the Renekton.
Certainly make them a whole lot beefier. Here's the play, though, coming out of the fog.
Yike just looking for the angle to ult, but they're so fast on the side of BDS. I was kind of skeptical about the ghost from Crowny, but if you can just run away from the recon, it's an option.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, I think just creating more distance, even if a Vi is sort of ulting at you, if you flash, have the ghost, that's a lot of movement speed to try and gap close back towards your team. Heal maybe not going to save you against the all-in. It's about sort of baiting Yike into his death. Here we go.
Yike, has he been baited his death? Mickey gonna look for the quick follow-up here. Excellent wild growth to interrupt Mickey. Labrov on point this game.
It's just nuts. I love it. It's a nice cask into the tower. We'll give him 2 turret shots. That's a lot of damage on Adam.
Hits him with the Fnatic 2020, lets him know.
The throwback.
I mean, the last time, you know, G2 denied Worlds at the hands of Fnatic, at the hands of Adam. How deep do we want to go into the narrative bucket? That's probably completely
I'm going to say not at all. Look, Dragos, I've been reading a lot this year, and what I've learned is that
you just repeat it over and over again, and eventually people will like it. Legacy Dynasty Kings?
Nope. I was going to say that books are better than saying G2 and Fnatic a lot. Or like a good movie, you know?
Okay, fine.
Teach their own, you know? Everyone's got their own cup of tea.
Yeah, exactly. And Adams is Fnatic 2020, apparently.
Yeah, stuck in the past.
Letting it go.
Move on, dude.
Moving on well. Wow. I'm not. All right. Thank you, Berlin.
We'll take what we can get up here, honestly.
Rough crowd. At this point in the game, not a lot is happening. G2 are going to grab their second Herald. Might give them a small gold advantage. And Yike, keeping it in the corner of that pit is not going to let it reset. His lesson hard learned from some of the games we saw earlier today. Mickey's lesson, however, has not been learned at all. BDS are playing Spot the Inter, and right now the Inter is Mickey. This man playing with a little bit too much confidence. BDS quick to punish.
Yeah, you know, earlier I was trying to hype up Shio, and I'm like, oh, this guy's finding all these picks. That was just Mickey kind of walking in. Not too sure what was going on with that one, but G2 a little bit loosey-goosey here.
So they kind of leash Herald for BDS.
Cool.
Give them a kill, and then get nothing back in return.
Is that a good play?
No.
Because I was gone for a year, but I don't know if people do that now?
No, people don't do that now.
Okay.
Well, people do, because G2 did, but it's not what I would recommend. And it is a bit concerning for the rest of this game. Good news, Hansama, Blade of the Rune King, massive power spike for Twitch. The #1 Blade of the Rune King abuser in the game.
At the same time, though, because this Herald play went down and G2 didn't even secure it, Crowny is up 1.3k on the bot side. Was able to cash in on all those turret plates, got first turret down there as well, so very happy. Oh no, Hans is so dead.
Oh. Yeah, he smells something now. He's running for his life. Crowny off on the side. Nowhere for Hansama to go. G2 bottom lane getting picked so much this game. 3 deaths between them already. All 3 of the kills on the side of BDS. It has been rough, and giving that money over to Crowny, you highlighted it. This is something you got to be worried about, because Crowny, you know, we talk about Hansama, you talk about the Draven. He has obviously been a standout carry for this team, but Crowny on the opposite side, doing his job incredibly well. That kill participation especially. 80 carries have high damage share. It happens. It's the nature of the role, but that kill participation is insane. Nothing happens without Crowny on this team. That is crazy for an 80 carry.
He's just a machine in the team fights as well. I remember multiple different times back in Winter Split where he just pulls back a game. You know, BDS, not always the cleanest of teams, but when it got late, when it got to 3-4 items, Crowny was always going to be a very serious threat, even in games where they were down 4, 5, 6K gold. And this game, they're actually in the lead. He's in the lead. He has almost the entire lead for his team right here, which is absolutely fantastic. Just outpacing the Twitch on the opposite side, because if Twitch can't just pop out of stealth and open up on you without risk of it just being turned around instantly, that champion is much harder to work into your comp.
Definitely is. Can be very vulnerable. The strength is the range and kind of the fact that he can out DPS or out attack speed steroid the vast majority of champions. But when you fall behind, that becomes less of an option. Maybe some opportunities coming up once Hansama clears out the side wave to find creative angles, to find flanks with the Twitch, but it's a difficult task when you need to catch waves, when you need to get that money.
100%. You spend so much time responding to the waves that you spend way less time making plays, and when you do go for plays, it's super obvious. Oh, Twitch isn't in bot lane, he's going to be in mid lane almost certainly.
Oh my.
Hit the eye, hit the bot. Okay, there it is. Chilling.
G2 mitigating a lot of the
That's why they gave the Herald over.
That's not why. Engage immediately going to kick off. It's an absolute bloodbath, but Adam just diving into the backside. Hansama trying to unleash. The Azir ult is everything, but it is not enough. It is right nuke into the backside.
Oh my god.
One flashing out of safety. Adam now following up. It's a clean fight from BDS, playing on the edge there for Nuke, but they're making it work. 3 dead on the side of G2 for nothing on the side of BDS.
So much went down onto Nuke, onto Crowny at the start of the fight without getting the kills that the soul lanes of BDS were just able to pop off. Adam had no one hitting him. He's absolutely cruising through G2. And honestly, impressive stuff, being able to kite out of there, Crowny not getting bursted out, made the entire engage from G2 just feel lackluster.
Just so hard. We take a look back at this fight. Obviously, you're kind of looking at Hansama and Caps to throw down as much damage as possible, but Yike, once he burns his combo, it's difficult for him to get anything else done.
Yeah, look at this. Crowny just flashes into the bush. No one's really in range. Even tries to get some poke, go for the fruits as well. But then, again, what are you going to do? Caps is trying to run away. Same thing for Hansama. All that upfront burst damage just not paying off. When the Viol does not result in a kill and just instantly gets turned around, the team fight is absolutely cooked.
You see the staff hesitant there for a second. Looked a little dicey when everyone got pushed back, but they had the damage to finish the job. Crowny and a blinking health bar, but still manages to get so much work done. 3K gold lead, 3 dragons. BDS are smashing G2 right now.
It's such an odd game too, because I feel like G2 compositionally have so many different things going for them, but the fact they got picked out so many times preceding the Drakes, especially in the bot side, whether it was Nuke and Shio sort of teaming up, walking into the enemy jungle, Shio playing in fog, finding a pick. Like, this game has not been about team fights up until that point. It's just BDS getting pick after pick and converting that into objectives, while G2 sort of dawdle around the map, finding waves here and when they can.
Yeah, and I think that one of the big struggles right now is Hansama finally taking over to level 11. He's a bit behind. We'll check on his itemization shortly, but you know, it's difficult when you go Blade of the Rune King first, presumably Kraken Slayer second. You're delaying that big spike on, it could be on 2 items with the IE changes, to 3 items, which is going to take a lot more time, and G2 are running out of time, because sometimes we've seen teams, you know, dawdle when they build leads like this. They haven't always been able to build or turn that into more, but BDS are not hesitating. They're pushing their vision line up. There is so little room for Hansama to step up, so little room for Mickey to explore and try to lay down vision. It's really only Yike or Brokenblade who can confidently face check anywhere.
It's really tough. You know, it's responding to waves, not being able to group, not being able to reclaim territory inside the enemy jungle. This is now going to be a permanent issue for them, because now we're at 20 minutes. Baron is always going to be a threat, and then Drake in 3 minutes. A huge threat, especially red side. It's so hard to approach and just go for a cheap steal with the Vi on that Drake, because you have to fight your way through the river. You can't just instantly hop over the wall. So yeah. G2 almost going to be lured into going for a team fight, which at this point, I don't think favors them. G2 have a lot of great utility tools to try and outplay their way to a team fight, even if they are behind. But it would have to be absolutely perfect and prey on some mistakes from BDS.
Certainly would be. And I think one of the big struggles when you have a composition with the Azir and the Twitch is that, yes, you have all this CC, yes, you have all this setup, but the CC is only valuable if someone is hitting that target, if someone can kill them in the duration of that CC. And because Caps and Hansama are behind the clock right now, they just don't do enough damage. You're not going to get enough out of a Leandries or a Blade of the Rune King to one-shot the beefy frontliners. And even if you kill one, you have to have enough left in the tank to kill every other one, because Crowny is incredibly strong, Nuke is incredibly strong, Adam is incredibly strong, and it's just a tall task.
I mean, the game's been so sped up with these Drakes that I don't even think they're going to be hitting second items before that soul ends up spawning. And if the soul goes into the hands of BDS, you're not dealing with, you know, Soul Lane Renekton and Akali, you're dealing with Soul Lane Tank Renekton and Akali with all the healing they're going to be getting and the defense of the Lulu as well. That just makes the scaling components wait even longer for it to come online for G2.
And healing mitigation is way better on this patch, don't get me wrong, with the 40% Grievous Wounds changing, or coming through.
Yeah.
But someone still has to take, you know, the 800 gold or whatever out of their build path to do it. Mickey's broke as hell. He can't do it. Caps really needs a second item, and that second item is not Morellonomicon, even if it will be the right choice in the face of an Ocean Soul. Yeah,
I think, unironically, it might not be the worst on someone like Broken Blade. Your ult is probably hitting 3-4 people on the enemy team, so not the hardest to try and proc. Here we go.
Mickey fishing for an engage. It's interrupted. Now they're trying to leap back out to safety. Extra movement speed now coming in. Adam not really finding the angle here. You can see the Crown, or Han Sama rather, starting to hit pretty hard, but can't finish the job.
I mean, but what's the result of that trade? You lose Ghost on Crowny for Han Sama's flash 1 minute before the soul fight? Like, sign me up for that deal. Nuke's flash is going to be coming online in that time. Adam's flash is also going to be coming online this time. Han Sama has a cleanse to try and stay alive, but he is going to be in such a rough position. He's going to have to pray that Caps and BB can keep him safe in the next team fight.
All right, G2. You want to prove you can just out-execute? You want to prove you can just outplay? This is an opportunity to do it. It's a pretty massive deficit. The odds are stacked against you. For BDS, you just play it slow, controlled. You can see pings coming onto the Drake, 30 seconds. They're going to go for mid-prio. Then they're going to set up the Drake. We've seen it. It's been pretty clean, pretty consistent play from BDS this entire game. And now with all these extra brush, they can do even more to fish for these picks. And you can see G2 not even walking into their own jungle to contest this right now. They don't have mid-prio, they have nobody on the map.
Yeah, because they have Sundisk, it makes it a little bit easier. They can try to walk through mid lane instead of going through their own jungle, which has pink wards all over the map. But again, the flashes on the BDS solo laners are up. There's more brush for them to play around. And Nuke, with the control wards guiding his path, can try to get a flank into the G2 backline.
G2, they need to deny the soul.
Maybe just a steal with the Gragas Burst.
They go for the steal. Shio now looking for the engage. They don't want to risk the 50-50. BDS now starting the fight off. Caps untouched for now. Han Sama untouched for now. Han Sama trying to find the angle where he can hit multiple targets, but already a target marked by the shuriken flip. BDS and Nuke not going to re-engage. Taking the small advantage here. Resetting. They've got the health lead very much in their favor as Nuke just threatening. Will not find an angle.
Cap still has the ultimate, but Mickey or Han Sama doesn't. That's so much DPS lost here for G2. BDS are trying to get a good angle, but G2 have been able to group up and force their way in. They could try to split up BDS because Adam is sort of stuck in the pit alone.
Mickey has all. Adam
no
getting
E
chipped
now.
Away. G2 for now out executing. BDS still a lot of tools to kick this off. Shio no ultimate, Nuke no ultimate, Crowny no ultimate. That's going to limit a lot of what they can do in BDS. They don't want to risk anything. I think they might. Back away.
Adam has teleport though. He is going to go in for the flank. They're going for the team fight.
3K, they need to burst this one down. They need to decide right now what they're going to do, and it looks like the call is. They found Crowny. Mickey going to try to disengage as much as he can. Han Sama now going to be in trouble, but it might not matter. Crowny getting pushed back. Caps able to find the angle, but can BDS take the fight? The Dragon still standing. 4K leashed in favor of G2 for now as it auto attacks Adam, and Yike going in, standing tall and finding the angle. G2 taking the fight.
A gorgeous team fight from G2 right there. Seeing the TP coming on the back line, they say full steam ahead. They single out Crowny, shut him down. Broken Blade now chasing down Nuke as well. There's nowhere for this Akali to go. It's the solo kill shutdown for BB.
Huge shutdown. They have bought themselves more time in this game, and if they get the Baron as well, the gold will be in their favor. The game will be in their favor.
35 seconds on Nuke because he falls so late into this one. It doesn't matter if the respawns on the rest of the team are coming through. G2 just have this.
Adam fishing for the angle. Adam trying to be the hero. He finds the stun initially, but he doesn't get a lot else done. He just needs to stop them from taking the Baron. That's all that matters. He might take Caps in the meantime, but he doesn't get anything. That's the shutdown coming in. 3 members of BDS barreling out of the base, desperate to try and contest this, but I don't think they're going to make it in time. Han Sama on the way in as well.
Everyone has a hop too, so they can kill Baron, hop over the wall, get out completely fine. Hans is here with ult. They might actually just turn for the fight.
Han Sama body blocking the ultimate there. Crowny now just going to try to shred through this entire team. He needs to take out as many Barons as humanly possible. Will he go over the wall? Will he chase? The answer is no. 4 Barons standing for the side of G2. They're going to lose about 40 seconds of effective time because of Hans, but this is a massive, massive play for G2 Esports.
This is so good. Finding Crowny right here. Yike starts off the play. BB follows, but it's Caps to finish off the kill, right? The burst in the backline isn't enough to get Crowny, but scooping Crowny right here with the flash into Emperor's Divide shuts this fight down. Nuke is also very low, so it's hard for him to frontline. And with the Sand Soldiers buying space for Caps too, he's just free hitting on those tanks in the front line of BDS. You could not ask for a better team fight, and the patience of G2 throughout that Drake dance, not instantly going for the burst where there's still a chance of a 50-50, instead taking the fight when it's still on 3K was exactly the right call to try and stay afloat in the game.
And you got to give credit, I think, to Yike and Broken Blade. They've been playing so well together, whether it's on the top side, even when Broken Blade might have been struggling in the 1v1 matchup. They've been doing so much work. Yesterday was the same story for Yike on this Vi as well, and I got to wonder when people are going to take this champion away from him because he's just been doing so much for G2.
If he locks in the Vi, you're not having fun. If you ban the Vi, he's locking in some kind of farming jungler, you're still not having fun. Like, this kid can literally do it all. It's been so nice to see from him. Now, potentially looking for a flank around mid lane, no outer turret. With the gap close of Q into ultimate, it is just so strong here, especially with Radiant Virtue now completed. A little bit more tankiness to get himself into the front line.
Gold, dead even. Of course, split a little bit differently across the teams, but Hansama finally ticking over to 2 items. And again, 2.5 minutes till the next soul point for BDS.
Look at this guy. Just hanging out.
On the edge of the sweeper. Ooh. I don't really know what he's going to do here. It's like Mission Impossible, but what is the mission?
Well, it's impossible.
You know?
You can't do it.
I mean, like,
it's literally just not possible.
If it was Splinter Cell, he just won the level. He snuck through past all the bad guys. The problem is it's League of Legends, so I don't know what he accomplished. He didn't place a ward.
He was actually Teemoing. So this is a really advanced strategy where you see he has a sweeper and no control wards, right? So he walks in the enemy jungle and he's just the ward for caps, right? SKT perfected it back in the day with Bangi.
Oh, I see.
The young gun clearly learned it.
Caps has been caught out. Is desperate to try and disengage the pushback. What? Caps still alive. Mickey trying to save him. Crowny in the midst of all of G2. They cannot find the kill. Caps still standing. Nuke will finally finish the job, but now he's so split from the team. Broken Blade going wide on the barrel is everything. G2 pushing in on the bottom side. They'll break one tower, but what else can they get?
Still chasing down onto Lebrov. They have the slow too. Yike has a Q coming back up. This Lulu is a goner.
Yike chasing. Lebrov, clean movement, but not clean enough. Yike on a killing spree. G2 pushing in for their second tower.
And look, it doesn't even matter that Nuke kills Caps at the end. The fact he survives for so long again is just ridiculous. BDS spent everything, and this is the flaw. This is the problem, I think, when it comes to BDS playing this comp against G2. So many disengage tools. If your dive doesn't work out, which your dive isn't all that strong, right? Renekton and Akali, it's very hard to stay locked down onto the enemy team. Like, they land everything on Caps, but it doesn't matter. The ult is able to come through even throughout the polymorph and everything and zones away those players. Then Crowny is trying to run in and finish off this kill, but he doesn't quite have the range, doesn't quite have the vision to actually get that auto attack down onto Caps. Maybe if he just chills out a little bit, things become a little bit more playable for them. They can play around their tower, just give up the kill on Adam and look to play the 4v5 without overcommitting, but I think Crowny was trying to do a little bit too much there.
Yeah, and kind of some of the strengths that made this composition so good early in the game are also a double-edged sword, because while Akali and Renekton, when they have leads, when they can find those angles, are so powerful, when you start to fall behind, they're also so weak, because right now G2 range advantage can just walk forward, and there's no good wave clear on the side of BDS. Oh, yeah. It is just Crowny. Everyone else is useless if GDS
and G2? Those are the two teams we've got right now?
Yeah, I'm struggling. Just bear with me. A little dyslexia.
Okay.
What? Baron. Baron's what's important. G2 get Baron is big. That's all I wanted to say.
That's what you wanted to say?
Look, all I'm saying is...
Oh, right, because the wave clear, it's all coming together for me now.
Yeah, Broken Blade.
True.
Right? Struggled a little bit in the early game. Daniel Dracos struggling a little bit in the late game. So just, cut everybody a little slack.
This is true. Honestly, the heartbreaking thing is I feel like BDS just played better than G2 for like 80% of the game, right? They were finding picks on G2 over and over again. But now that G2 are grouping, now they won the team fight, it's actually just getting reversed on them.
Taking the tower. Not going to be tanky enough to survive that as Hansama. He was hiding.
That's literally a perfect gold graph, by the way. Literally winning 80% of the game. Lose it all on one Drake fight, on the Drake fight that would have won them the game, right? They did everything right. If you just get that soul, I think they cruise through this one no problem.
And this is the terrifying thing about playing against G2, and especially a version of G2 that is so full of veteran talent, is their experience in the late game is just pretty much unmatchable by any other team in the league. And while there are other teams that have showed us those incredible turnarounds, G2 feel like they're a team that are not beaten until the Nexus dies. Any other team, they get this kind of deficit, you feel like the game is over. But G2 always seem to find that angle, find that opportunity. But Crowny's getting stronger. BDS are absolutely not out of this yet. They always have the soul. G2 make any mistake around Drakes, soul could go in the favor of BDS. It could make things much easier.
This is true. The good news for G2, they've got all these red champions that are finding the engages in the team fights, and there's nothing BDS can do about it. They're still playing blue in the jungle. It doesn't make any sense.
This is like when LS tried to tell everyone that Magic the Gathering was like a 1-to-1 with League of Legends.
Yeah, but I think that one actually made a little bit more sense. This one is just pure conspiracy theory.
respect it. Well, the tinfoil hat working out for you so far, Ender. I'll give you that. G2 gonna break another tier 2. It's, again, hard for BDS to contest this. They really have to commit a ton of resources or try to force a full-on fight to stop G2 from pushing, as Mickey feel a little bit more confident to fish for an engage here.
Really what BDS are trying to do to get themselves into that Dragon River, they have to find a way to maybe get Adam or Nuke in on some kind of flank angle, but you can see, smartly, G2 have switched over to 3 blue trinkets, right? All you have to do is spot out the flanks, so use those cooldowns to be able to clear away any BDS members, whereas BDS have 4 sweepers just to make sure they can be playing in fog, because with such a melee-heavy comp, they have to be able to close the gap.
Stepping forward, Shio on the flank, but that's not who you want to be there. Wild growth good, Adam still standing for now, healing up, but G2 untouched.
Nuke's a mile away!
Caps untouched. Nuke finally finds the flank, but what can you do in the face of his team? He almost burns down Hansama, but he's over the wall. He makes it out. BDS fumble the fight at G2. Fearless as they push forward. Yikes stepping up. Crowdy's still standing. Crowdy! Finds one. Buys space. Enough movement speed to get away. They can hold on to the game for now, but G2 will just turn to the Baron.
He can heal a lot off of the mid wave, maybe Raptors as well if he has time to get some hits in. He's already back up to half HP. I don't even think he needs to go towards Raptors with red buff too. Good spot on that one. Also a stopwatch in the inventory. If anyone from BDS is going to do it, it's Crowny, but it's a near impossible task.
Double 18 Broken Blade, trying to zone him away. Body slam forward, Crowny.
Oh, gorgeous.
G2, he dashes over the wall, but parkour will not be enough. It's a free frame. He goes golden, but he will get taken down. Shio next. So in the meantime, Yike going to keep the Baron leashed. Continue to focus that one down. And Shio's gonna run. But G2, again, finding another immaculate fight in their favor. This time, BDS. Execution was good in the early game. It was okay in the mid game, but it is getting harder and harder. It is getting worse and worse for the side of BDS.
Here we go, Yike again in the mid lane here.
Adam knocked up. Hansama again, starting to hit like a truck. Adam, nowhere for him to go. Hansama with the expunge to finish.
It just gets worse and worse, and execute, it doesn't even matter here. We're trying to move along.
New draft. Remake.
Someone.
Remake. Oh, we can't? All right, G2.
Fnatic aren't even playing, and they're trying to use the pause hack.
2020, baby. Adam, got it on lock.
And this might be the fastest win of the year. 20 seconds on the in-game timer, and G2 are barreling towards the Nexus.
BDS valiantly fought in the early to mid game, but they slipped up once, and G2 have given them no opportunities to regain control. They were so close to Ocean Soul. They were so close to a win, but they are not able to find it. Hansama outranging Crowny. Can't quite finish the job. Crowny gonna walk in. The ace going in favor of G2 as they will close out the game. As they will tie up BDS.
BDS found so many picks throughout that early game, but G2 were just unmatched when it came to the team fights. Very clean stuff out of the engagers on G2 to be able to pull away with that one. I think Yike, it looked like he soloed the end of the Baron. I think you can add that one to the LinkedIn profile.
The LinkedIn profile looking good for Yike right now. I think it is certainly safe to say. For G2 as a whole, some moments that were questionable in the early game. BDS very good to punish, to catch out Mickey.